Good day, and welcome to the launch announcement for version 0.08 of Do Demons Dream of Beheaded Bunnies. The launch announcement and patch notes for version 0.08, I should say. And it has been a hot minute since there's been an update. If you watch my regular Do Mod Wackiness series, you may have realised that the reason why I disappeared for a little bit and there hasn't been any public updates is because we had a where I live, we had a hurricane hit. Thankfully it was dropped to a category 1 just before it hit landfall, and I happened to be on the sort of northwestern edge of where the storm hit, so we still got hit with lots of winds and rain and stuff, but it wasn't as bad as it was looking like it was going to be, and it certainly wasn't as bad as what people on the Gold Coast got hit with, so I was lucky in that respect. Then about a week after that, I got myself run over on my whilst I was out in my electric scooter by a car, and no broken bones, but I was bedridden and unable to move for a bit, and then even when I was able to move, my leg had healed, it was would start feeling quite painful sitting down for too long, having it bent. So but here we are. The pretty lucky series of events, because the cyclone wasn't as bad as what it could have been. I didn't break any bones in the accident, and jumping back into work once my leg was sitting to able to sit for a bit, I realised that version 0.08 was pretty much ready to launch just before this series of unfortunate events happened, and I just needed to do a couple of little touches on some of the secrets and then finish off a playtest, and I'm happy to say I just finished the playtest yesterday, playing through, making sure that I wasn't getting any secrets at all, and playing through on the hard mode for each level to ensure that it's actually completable, and here we are. So, patch notes, let's go. New game, map. First patch note is on map 10, and we'll kill monsters. So this was a pretty important and significant change to the level, and we have to walk a little bit of the way through. Oops. And from we can't get down there. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to run around. I was going to see if there's a shortcut I could get to show what I was doing, what the patch notes entail. Now, I'd normally just go and record each patch note as an individual snippet and edit it together, but my computer takes like 800 years to edit anything. So please bear with this. We need to get up to this second half of the map, up here. Okay, so I'm just gonna fly. Not sure. Ah, the thing hadn't come up properly yet. Okay, so as you can see, there's a doorway that way, and this passageway heads down here, splits off there, comes down here. Now, it used to be that these barriers were not here. So you could walk straight into this lift, and this was my intent originally. You could come into the lift, you'd get down here, and you'd make your way all the way to the end of the level, and if you hadn't gone down the other wing to hit a switch, this barrier that lowers this switch, hit a switch that lowers this barrier, you'd have to backtrack and make your way all the way there. I thought it was a pretty clever, cool little thing. And over at the switch that you need to hit to lower this barrier, there was an image of the door with the barrier in front of it, and once you hit the switch, the image would change to an image of the door without the barrier. So if you went that way, you knew what was happening when you hit the switch. The thing I hadn't considered was for those players who came all the way down here, saw that barrier, and then were left confused, unsure as to where they had to go to find the switch. And the exploring and not being sure in and of itself is fine. I deliberately designed things to encourage exploring, and but that went above and beyond. That ended up going past exploring, encouraging exploring, and created confusion, until they ended up coming all the way back here and realizing that there was a switch over here. And the players that the videos I've seen, the players appear to be more prompted by confusion to come exploring further in the level, rather than any sense of the switch might be all the way out here. So now I've changed the image to display an image of the elevator with the thing, and if you hit the switch, so now you can't get any further than that halfway point and that elevator, and that will prompt the player back through the wing that they're right at, rather than having to backtrack halfway through the level because they're confused. Hopefully that will help alleviate that confusion, because you'll only get to here before you have to backtrack, rather than all the way down there, where it kind of doesn't make sense that the switch is like that far away. So that should fix that in this level. In map 11, and I can just no clip to where we want to go for this one. Whoops. Oops, if I put the command in properly. Right, and let's fly. Okay, so when you made your way down through this section of the map, through this building here, when you made your way down through here, my usual, when I play through the game, I usually will come down here and take out the 2 Barons and Pinkies or Spectres from this platform, or when I get over there. So it was never anything that clicked in my head, but something I've been noticing a lot of players facing in their playthroughs is they'll get to here and there'll be 2 Barons and 2 Spectres right on them, and they can't get out of the lift, and the only option is to sort of ride it back up and then ride it down and hope to get a couple of cheap shots in and that. I fixed that. That was never intended to be a situation that the player gets blocked in here and has to try and edge their way around sneakily. like in Necro Insomniac's playthrough, for example. Poor guy was stuck here, and that was just cheap and nasty. That's not what I intended. So now there's actually a monster blocking mine across here, so they'll be contained to here, and you'll have some room to actually get out of the elevator and plan. That's it for level 11's patch notes. Level 14, however, has a couple of important ones to go through. That was satisfying. Did you hear all those monsters dying? Okay, so first things first. We need to come around to the sludge pit. Which means we need to get the key. What does it? I think it does actually. I'll grab the key. Okay, so this is the sludge pit I'm talking about. This here. Previous versions, I'd accidentally had that 1 unit lower, so you'd drop in here and you'd actually get stuck, a couple of units lower. Now it was an unintended soft lock. You weren't meant to get stuck in that pit, but it's been raised and fixed now, so you can't fall in there. Additionally, the yellow key switch used to be here, and you'd hit the yellow key switch and that wall there would open, and that's what this window's here for. The intent was that you'd hit the switch and you could see the wall opening, but I mean, let's face it, look at that field of view and it's not that great. So a lot of players were missing the effect of the wall opening, even though it's a huge section, like it's literally from that end to this end, but it's just too bulky in the vision. So the idea was you'd hit the yellow key, then you'd run back in one of two ways around to this area, and it wouldn't just, that yellow switch would open those walls, and it would also open a little door here, panel here, which revealed this switch, and this switch would lower a lift. So I moved the yellow key down to here, just had the switch active, so you can see that this is where the yellow key needs to go as you walk in the room, through the pattern there. And then if I give keys, hit the yellow switch, now it opens the wall, and this is just a regular lift that you push against. And that leads me to the third and final update for this level, which is back through here, and another point of confusion, because players would come here. There used to be a switch on this wall, and players would hit that switch thinking it was going to open this door, which can't be opened from this side. It does open, but not from this side. That switch actually opened that door, and a lot of times, again, for a similar reason, the field of view is not great when you hit the switch. A lot of players weren't sort of seeing that door open, or only noticing that it had opened after running around for a bit. So I've changed that now. You come in here, you hit that switch, the switch is now down here, you hit it and you can see the door opening, and then there's a lift to get back out. The only downside to that is that the monsters that spawn in when you come down to this section here to hit that switch, the way that combat played out originally with the switch just up here was fantastic. Now it kind of makes a little choke point where you got to sort of door fight from the lower angle, and that's not how I wanted that fight to play out. So for now, that's how it is in version 0.08. I'm going to finagle it a bit and see how I can improve this little area so that that combat plays out a bit nicer. But that's level 14's patch notes. Map 15. I won't show the patch note in this one. However, in this level there is a secret that did have a soft lock. You could get up onto the writing desk and then turn around and run over the chair and fall down behind it and get stuck. So that's been fixed. No soft lock there anymore, thankfully. That was the only thing that needed to be addressed in this level. Now this level, however, I was never happy with the way, see, when I made the exit for the previous level, 19, and came up with this concept, I wanted a lift, obviously, but the problem with that is that the exit area, see, to get this to work here, that's a solid segment, but this segment here, like, you could walk all the way around, it's a full circle. And the only way I could get this to work originally was to have the two sides come down, but I figured out a way to make it actually work like a lift now. I had to leave a small flat section on the side of that circular area, as you can see there. But now it works rather than having two sections of the side come down, which just looks stupid. Map 31, the first secret level. Over in this room, when you get to this room, there was a very unintended and unexpected soft lock. If the players, let me see, how did Socky get there? Climb these crates. Actually, I think it was those ones around there. Now these crates there's nothing up here. But if the player climbed these crates, that area there, oh, I can't even get up there. I don't know how Socky managed to make it across that. But if you got up here, you could actually fall down between those crates and get yourself soft locked. So that has now been fixed. I think that was all that needed to be... Yep, that was it for 31. 32. And if you want to see a full playthrough of this, check out Socky's playthrough. He just did this level. Fantastic. But anyway, you come all the way down here and you go down to engineering, 19th deck, and especially if you're playing the hard mode, the red path, you'd have an archvile right in your face. Again, I don't like encounters where you coming down a lift and like the monsters are right here, stacked up on top of you. It was never intended, but it kept happening, and I've now put a monster blocking line depth there, so all the monsters in this area will roam about here where I wanted them to roam initially, but they won't hem you in here anymore. So that's all the patch notes. 22. I almost forgot what the first level was. So this will be the last. If you've played through the previous update, this will be the last site you saw. This room. So we come in here, and it, as per usual, do a quick walkthrough tour, show off some of the layout and details. And unlike previous patch notes, you actually get the bonus of seeing where all the corpses are, because I'm using the kill monsters cheat rather than loading it up through the editor without any monsters active. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. And just a bit further up, I'll switch to the next level. I won't walk through the full thing. Just enough to get a good view of everything, because this next room is one of my favourites. Really like how this room turned out. And you can get up in the little guard station. Move back in here. And that's where we'll leave this level. What level was it? 22. And we got map 23. And again, you'll get the benefit of seeing the monsters. These all just loop back. That way leads to this, that leads to there, but they both all lead down here. This one is a bit more of an experimental level, I guess. It's like had no limitations in terms of trying to make it a realistic place, because at this point the hell and earth have merged, realms have started merging. So things can be either logical or just random and not make any sense. But anyway, if we go through, this here is a originally you just come in and walk down these steps at this section, but I thought there's no intuitive sort of introduction to the room that comes next, and I'll explain that. So I edited this area to add in this just recently as a way to intuitively teach the player what's about to come next without having to write it out, spell it out. So you've got these two teleporters. If you go through, and the standard that has been throughout the WAD, a red teleporter means is a trap. A white teleporter takes you to the destination. So players should be at this point feeling a bit apprehensive because there's only two red teleports. But if they go through this one, it just takes them back to here, to the start. And you know the symbol on that one. This one, however, and again note the symbol, takes you forward in your progression. And that's important because look at this room. So if we go on, and to fight the cacodemons, I do suggest jumping down there. There might be a secret hidden behind one of these as well. But you get in here, you take that teleport, and you'll see there's a normal pentagram and that symbol. If we take the normal pentagram, that's a different symbol. We go back to the start. Alright, if we take normal pentagrams. However, if you follow this symbol, we make it across the room. And that's why I thought that extra teleport section needed to be there, where there was literally no other options. No, like, it becomes obvious that that's what needs to be done. Hopefully that's how this level will play out. This was a very interesting level to build because I had some vague ideas. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, or what I was even going to do to flesh them out, and it ended up coming together fairly well. It's a fairly short level, but it is, being that it is level 23, it is pretty tough. Now there used to be a cyber demon there and a cyber demon there. That was too hard. It was too hard. Beatable, but it wasn't fun. It was very mean. I changed it to a Mancubus, especially given that there's like 3 archviles in the next segment if you're playing hard mode. And no, you can't see the corpses because they haven't spawned in, because I killed monsters before I activated anything. So but yeah, there's like 3 archviles that appear here if you're playing on the hard mode. And that brings us to Wasting Chambers, level 24, the final update level for the update. Oops, we're not playing the level. This level took a little bit to get balanced right. The first few times playing through it, I'd get to the room down there and it was a bit brutal. I'm not gonna lie, very brutal. But let's do a quick show off of this. The bridge to there has collapsed with the blue key in there. So you can drop down here and climb back up. I debated putting this little step to get back up in case you fall down in a lot, because it changes the once you get that blue key. I wanted the players to go out and through a tunnel that opens there. You can drop down here now and climb up those stairs. Still going to face a bunch of enemies, but you miss the mancubus ambush that happens if you come out and down there. Lots of chain gunners though. But anyway, you'll see that. In fact, we'll go get the blue key. Show off this segment. There's the exit up there. Excuse me. You can see we got the blue key. You can see the trap opens with a bunch of chain gunners, a bunch of spectres come out of there, and then when you come up this way and get to here, well, there's the spectres now, and mancubus opens behind you. So you can go down and sort of skip the mancubus and stuff. I might actually put a trigger if you go that way, it still unleashes the spectres and stuff. But anyways, to save on needing rad suits at the moment, we'll come back there in a second. This is that where area we just were at. Can't really go anywhere through this doorway. You can get out there and have a look. Instead you come through here and that takes you into the, see there's the door we were just at. However, when I get over there you'll notice that it's now being blocked. And that is to stop the players from just using that as a quick escape route for what they're facing once they pick up that red key. But we make our way up through this cave system here, and we find ourselves in that little tunnel we were just at on the other side of this room. From here we want to use the blue key, so we need to come back to here. It's coming up in here, we'll hitting that switch raises that land bridge around to the other doorway. Yellow key over here. Again, we're on the same room again. And you'll see that the land bridges have appeared here. Now they are actual lifts, so you don't get blocked off from being able to go through that way if you want to go through exploring and looking for secrets or anything after the fact. But you'll see there's the exit there. If you don't have the blue key, you can't get any further forward, so hit the switch. That brings down those pipes, lets you get past. And here's the yellow door. Just hit this switch, raise the land bridge here and there. And they should be lifts as well, so you can go explore. And that's it, that's level 24. That is the new update for Do Demon's Dream of Beheaded Bunnies, version 0.08. And there was another secret, another issue for level 32 that I fixed as well. But we've got 5 more levels to go before all 32 levels have been created. So hopefully it shouldn't take me too long, and then I can work on lower difficulty balances and stuff. Been a long, fun journey. That last note for level 32, you'll see that goes back to Vanilla Doom here, but just quickly address that patch note before I end the video, because it's actually a pretty significant one. Okay, yes, that's where I need to be. Okay, so the reason I no-clipped through that is because I don't want to show off the secret, but suffice it to say, this Evil Eye sigil super secret sequence for this was slightly broken, and I didn't realise it until I saw Soki's playthrough, because he got the first Evil Eye, came through the teleporter that opened to reveal, which takes you back into this teleport room, and the idea was that you'd come in, you'd shoot this Evil Eye, and then this Evil Eye would unlock the door where the actual sphere is. Okay, now what Soki did is, because as you saw just then, there was some bars that raised in front of the teleporter. Now when you hit the first Evil Eye and go through the teleport, it teleports you about here in that previous teleport room, and those bars won't raise until you shoot that second Evil Eye, which opens the third one. You shoot that, the bars open, and this door opens. Because what Soki had done is he came in here after shooting only this one. He didn't see that Evil Eye open, accidentally walked back on the teleporter, brought him in here. This door was still closed, so he picked up his God Sphere, went back, sort of hit the thing, wasn't sure what to do, how to get out the door, came back through the teleporter again, and by that time I'd wasted his God Sphere on him, basically, by incompetent design. So this is all fixed now. That should play out correctly. You can't get that was not the teleport room. It's alright. but you can't get in there. You can't accidentally backtrack and like you can't get into this room without shooting all 3 switches now. So that's how it should be. But anyway, that's the patch notes. I hope everyone who has played the WAD so far has enjoyed. Thank you for everyone who has, and especially those who have posted videos, because that really helps me identify things like soft locks and stuff like that, and where things aren't working properly. But that's that, and hopefully you all enjoy. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.